begin.
Darren Allison, Darren Allison, Interim Chief of Police.
Chief, can you tell us what happened today?
So today I'm here to provide information on a senseless and horrific act of violence, the homicide of a 10-year-old little girl. As a parent, I know that there's nothing more that tears at the heart than the loss of a child. I want to first acknowledge the victim, her family, and her loved ones. Just before noon, the Oakland Police Department Communications Division received a call that there was a possible shooting or stabbing in the 4500 block of Bancroft Avenue. However, there was no record of a shot spotter activation. When officers arrived, they did not see any evidence of a shooting, but they did locate a knife outside the residence with blood on it. Officers were notified through the original caller that the suspect had killed the victim. Based on the information, and for the safety concerns of potential victims, officers forced entry into the residence. Once inside, officers located an unresponsive 10-year-old suffering from severe injuries to her neck. Officers also located the suspect who was harming themselves with a knife. Medical personnel arrived and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. The suspect was transported to an area hospital for medical attention for self-inflicted stab wounds. The suspect was listed in critical condition. Homicide investigators responded to conduct a follow-up investigation. As the investigation is ongoing, we are asking anyone with information to call our homicide division at 510-238-3821. I do want to state and also take the opportunity to recognize the officers who made entry into the residence and attempted to render aid to the little girl, and who also took the suspect into custody. These incidents can be very volatile and traumatic, and I want to thank them for their heroism and their dedication.
Chief, can you describe any relationship between the victim and the suspect?
The victim and the suspect are known to one another. We are not stating the relationship at this time as the investigation is ongoing.
Suspect male or female?
We're not going to put out the information on the suspect at this time.
Other calls for domestic violence at this home previously?
No prior calls between the victim and the suspect.
Other calls from neighbors in the area?
We've had prior calls related to the group, but not going into details of the nature of those calls.
How many folks live in that apartment?
At the time of the incident, there were only 2 individuals inside the apartment.
Any notes explaining why this may have happened, or any emails or any indicia?
No details that we're looking to provide at this time as we go further into the investigation.
I'm sorry, did you say there were only 2 people living in the household?
There were 2 people inside the household when we made entry.
We don't know how many live in the home, do we?
I do not have that information to provide at this time.
All right. Are there any witnesses that are neighbors, perhaps?
We're going through all the standard investigative procedures, looking for witnesses, canvassing the area, and looking at any other possible leads to solidify motives as to what happened.
What's your next step?
Next step is to conduct our follow-up investigation, certainly follow up with any interviews we need to look at, analyze evidence, and certainly if there's any information that the public may have and may need to send to us, again, providing that number of 510-238-3821 for any additional that the public may know.
This is the last question.
Chief, was the suspect in any condition to be interviewed as to why this happened, or is she not medically available to do that?
The suspect is receiving medical treatment and is listed in critical condition. All right, thank you very much.
Any other suspects? How many police were actually inside the
Yeah, and how are they doing?
Yeah, how many were there?
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, we gave you an opportunity to ask the last
Sure, I
question.
just want to know how many there were.
How many what?
I will say this, I don't have the exact number that made entry,
Sure.
but we do, as I mentioned, see the traumatic nature of these incidents. We have activated our peer support and chaplaincy for our officers, and certainly going to make sure that their well-being is looked after.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.